Welcome to the 5th episode of the MousekaBros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook at the MousekaBros. We will be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. We would like to announce that we are having a Christmas special that will release Christmas Eve. On today's episode, we start to wrap up the year by going over a few attractions that closed in 2018. We'll start with Magic Kingdom, and then go to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and then end with Animal Kingdom. We'll talk about when it closed, when it opened, a little bit of history, kind of talk about our opinions. So, Ryan, if you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off with Magic Kingdom. So with Magic Kingdom, it's going to be the Move It, Shake It, Dance, and Play It. It was a street party that closed on December 2nd, 2018. It opened, so this version opened on October in 2014. And then there was a previous one, but I'll talk about that afterwards. But and this parade started up around the upper part of Main Street near the firehouse. It would then head down Main Street and stop at the hub in front of the castle. This would allow guests to dance in the street with performers and their favorite Disney and Pixar characters. This was an upbeat 20-minute parade that was perfect for little kids to dance their energy away, and even sometimes my own energy. So this came out first as Move It, Shake It, Celebrate It, and I remember that from my college program.
Many years ago.
Yeah, many years ago. 2011, 2012. And it was cool because they actually encouraged us to go dance, to go play with,
to like be in the parade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that was really cool. I did that a couple times. Sweat just poured down, but
well, I mean, you were sweating already
fun.
from the summer.
That's very true. Just summer in general, I sweat. But no, it was fun. I guess I'm kind of sad to see. I guess this one go. It's coming back ish, kind of
ish.
But it's the Move It, Shake It, Mouseka Dance It. It's going to be with Mickey and Minnie. So I'm interested to see what that is. I mean, sometimes I kind of don't like it because I feel like it gets in the way of the midday. Oh yeah, let's go. You're in Adventureland. Let's go over to Tomorrowland. Oh well, you can't because this parade that runs 8 times.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But
To that point, I think it is a type of parade that kind of gets all like the little kids and families kind of into the hub and away from everything. It's just like a thing to kind of draw the crowd. And it'll be interesting to see what the new parade is because this parade already has Mickey and Minnie in it. So the one coming out is for Mickey and Minnie's like celebration year. So it'd be interesting to see how different it is because to me, the Move It, Shake It, Dance It, and Play It street party isn't too much different from the Move It, Shake It, Celebrate It.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of the same thing, probably different songs, different characters, but like I'm sure pretty much the same type of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine as well. I mean, really the only thing they changed initially from Celebrate It to Dance and Play It is that now the guests can have an option of song choice, whether it's like the Justin Timberlake song that everybody talks about or another popular song at the time. The crowd gets to pick which one they want to listen to. And I say, Justin, what is that song?
It's from Trolls.
It was from Trolls.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
gosh.
But it was always that song
because
it was the most popular. It probably still is or was. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything else on the Magic Kingdom. Excited to see what the new one brings.
Okay, so moving right along to Epcot is the Circle of Life, an environmental fable, which closed February 4th, 2018. The attraction opened January 21st, 1995. It was an educational film starring Pumbaa, Simba, and Timon from Disney's animated feature, The Lion King. And it discusses how easily the ecological balance can be upset. It actually replaced a movie called Symbiosis, which talks about the same topics The only difference is that it really didn't have any Disney characters. So they kind of changed it to add Disney characters, and who better than people who, live with the land, because it's in the land. That's a bad joke. So when the Circle of Life came out, it actually used some leftover footage from Symbiosis to kind of help explain the story. It was a deep topic, but one that enlightened the viewer onto how to change their ways. It was a cool movie. We did it every other year, I feel, when we went. It wasn't a thing that we...
Not every time.
Yeah, we didn't do it every time. It was a movie that's like, it's summer, it's hot, this is inside.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. But it's interesting because the movie talks about environmental issues with like building cities, building resorts on top of lands, but that's literally what Disney's doing all of the time is building new. Yeah. I'm sure they're doing it
bigger and better.
Yeah. But I'm sure they're doing it eco-friendly.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But it's just funny that they talk about this industrial life and how it's bad, but yet Disney's doing it every single day.
I mean, it almost makes you feel almost worse about yourself. You're like, oh gosh, I need to recycle more.
And then you go home, recycle for a week, and then you're like, what's recycling?
Like, what's this again? What's that? Yeah, no, it's definitely something like I would forget about the movie. I would forget that it's even there. And then like, oh yeah, well, I can't remember what that's about. And then you sit in the theater and you're like, oh yeah, now I remember everything of this. I'm a horrible human. I'm destroying the world. I need to recycle and save water. That's pretty much all it did for me.
No, I completely agree. It was just like, yeah, how I'm living's bad. I need to change. I'm probably not going to change. Because it truly is easier said than done just to be like, oh, I'm going to start recycling. I'm going to start walking to work instead of driving. I'm going to ride a bike for 10 miles instead of riding a car. I don't know. I like the movie. I like that it stuck with what Epcot is. Yeah, that is educational and how to live with the land, and it's in the land pavilion. So it definitely fit. It was a movie that didn't make me feel good about myself.
But I like that it made you think. Afterwards you're like, oh my, maybe I should recycle. So, yes, that's absolutely in Epcot's, overall theme and educational. Now that it's closed, I guess it's a different conversation of what are they going to put there next?
Yeah,
maybe another movie.
Yeah. I would hope not another movie, because to me, back then when they were opening all these parks, they needed space fillers, and it's easy to put movies in because they can still capture an entire attraction and, tell you and explain. So it still makes you think. But like nowadays with the technology we have, putting just like a movie in just seems it just seems like a placeholder. Like they didn't know what to do with it, but it needs to be something.
No, yeah. I even feel that way with, I guess, 3D overall. You can go and buy a 3D TV. Now, it's not going to be the best 3D, you know what I mean? So, but in this type of film back from 1995, I would only imagine like the older 3D, your TVs that you buy now are better 3D than some of these older films like Captain EO,
right?
Or something like that. So, I hope they do that with all of the theaters and all of the 3D shows. I hope they really take a look at that.
Right, and we kind of talked about it last episode, but like in Epcot with the Circle Vision, it's a movie, but it is a different type of movie. Having 360-degree around you, being able to look which way at a screen, is different than sitting in a movie seat watching a movie.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what Circle of Life was. It was a pure movie theater.
Yeah.
So if it became like a 4D movie or something, does that do anything for you?
Maybe. I feel that they're going to keep it a theater. I wouldn't imagine they're going to change it out for some type of other, actual ride. Maybe they'll extend the land. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I feel like they'll probably keep it a theater, but just, I guess, what type of movie or kind of movie they put in it, and hopefully update it.
It's going to be something involving the land. It's in the land pavilion. Everything in there is all about Earth and the land. So it's going to be something along those lines. I hope it's not just another educational movie about recycling with just updated shots and updated like characters. You know, instead of the Lion King, they're doing it with like Up or something.
Zootopia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But like, I hope they don't do that. I hope they are original with this idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so moving along to our next park, which is Disney Hollywood Studios, the Disney Junior Live on Stage closed on September 2nd, 2018. This does technically count as a closure. It's kind of like the Street Party, because it seems more of like a refurbishment almost. But Disney Junior Live on Stage opened March 27th, 2011. With the television show name changing of Playhouse Disney to Disney Junior, the show that was in this space also got a name change from Playhouse Disney Live on Stage to Disney Junior Live on Stage. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but they changed the program name and then they changed the show name to the same thing. The show featured beloved Disney Junior characters like Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Sophia the First, and Doc McStuffins. The show that is going to replace this is Disney Junior Dance Party, which will open December 22nd, 2018. And this show will feature the Lion Guard, Vampirina, if I said that right.
Yeah, Vampirina.
And Doc McStuffins. So it sounds like it's like, yeah, it's a show that closed, but it's almost opening like the same type of show, just different characters.
Yeah, updated characters in it, which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, as times change, you know, TV shows change, the popularity of them changes. So it's nice to see that they're kind of changing with the times, but it's weird that they count this as a closure just because it's a name change.
Yeah. You know, as two adults that we are, I'll admit it for us that yes, we have seen this show as adults and not as children.
Yeah, I mean, because Playhouse Disney we saw live on stage, we saw as kids. Because I don't remember seeing it as an adult. I mean, 2011. I'm not good with math, but I'm not
math. No, but I remember the Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah, Roly Poly Oly was also in there too.
Yeah. I remember those, and I mean those were when we were kids.
Right, those were the big shows
was in there. Yeah,
and then it changed to I think Winnie the Pooh and Friends.
I don't remember that.
And yeah. So and then Jake and the Neverland Pirate came, and then they just kind of keep changing out segments.
Yeah.
So we saw both. We'll probably. I shouldn't say probably. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see Disney Junior Dance Party with no kids in our party.
Yeah,
all adults will probably see this.
Yeah. And I guess the one sad note is that for the show that's leaving, maybe not more for you because Doc McStuffin is staying.
I love Doc McStuffins.
But Jake and the Neverland Pirate, like I really like Jake. I just like that show. I like pirates. So, and I like Peter Pan and and Captain Hook. So to have
is Peter Pan in that show? Because I know Tinkerbell is sometimes.
But Tink is sometimes, and I think Peter Pan when they have like more of like a special for it.
Right.
It's like a bigger episode. I don't know how they market that, but it's not.
I don't know. I was just thinking
it's
about
not like
that.
a longer
weird,
episode, but it's like a special episode. I think
like
that
instead
Peter
of 30
Pan was
minutes.
in.
Instead of 30 minutes, it's like an hour.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Doc McStuffins. I don't know why. I just like there was just a year that I would wake up every morning and just watch Doc McStuffins. Mind you, I was like a teenager. Like this isn't me being a kid. Like I was just up and Doc McStuffins was on. And I was like, well, I guess I'm watching Doc McStuffins.
It's just it's one of those I guess stations you can put on and just like whether you hear it in the background or. You're eating breakfast in the morning and you kind of relive your childhood.
Yeah,
I guess that's why we're so into these kid shows.
But like the difference is it's not like Dora the Explorer. Like Dora the Explorer is for very young children because it like teaches and it's like, can you find the mountain? And there's like a giant mountain behind her, right?
It.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But then there's shows like these that like actually kind of have a story, and don't really talk down to children. I don't know.
No, I mean, I watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I All right. To this day,
regularly.
my rewinds and now with the I haven't seen an episode yet, but it's the Mickey Mouse
Road Racers,
Roadster Racers.
That is also going to be a part of the Disney Junior Dance Party.
Yeah,
I saw some pictures from it, and it actually has like Mickey Mouse, like full costume. Full
Mickey Mouse.
That awkward silence in between. Jeez. But yeah, it has Mickey Mouse in his Speed Racer costume.
Okay, that's what you were going to say. That's better
earlier.
Wording there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know what I was saying. I just get my words mixed up. Anyway.
Did you have anything else for the Disney Junior?
No, I think we kind of hit all their points on that.
Okay. Yeah. So do I. All right. So to Disney's to Animal Kingdom. The conservation station closed on October 22nd, 2018. It opened April 22nd, 1998. I'm going to butcher this, okay? But it was Animal Kingdom's veterinarian and conservation headquarters. That's a mouthful, okay? He's sitting over here laughing at me hysterically.
He practiced that one sentence for, it must have been 15 minutes you were practicing it before we started recording.
I did. So anyway, furthermore, so it was located outside of the African land of the park. This was, quote, a backstage area of what they kind of called it, like a glimpse of it on the train. So guests could meet wildlife experts to discuss the care for the animals and to learn about the behind-the-scenes operations of the park, which at itself is amazing. You know, it's a huge park that not only do you have to upkeep the park, but you have to help upkeep, you know, the animals. The station included a rehabilitation area for injured animals and a nursery for recently born animals. You would access the station by taking the Wildlife Express train from Harambe, which is in Africa, and then return to the park the same way. You take the same exact train. So with this closure, a lot of other smaller kind of attractions closed with it. You know, off the top of my head, it was the petting zoo. Mm-hmm. And then they had that cool Mother Willow sound experience.
Yeah, where you sat in a dark room, everybody got headphones, and it was like they had like a chainsaw of a tree chopping, all the animals, there was a jungle. There was on the pathway, I think it was called Habitat, where it was like there was always like a pet expert. That's a horrible name.
Pet expert.
But that was on the path, you know, probably holding like a bird or something. Cool, you know, saying facts.
You know, it was definitely cool. It definitely took, I feel like, a good, you know, more than an hour of your day, especially if you did everything there. It was cool because you got to see the cages that, like, the elephants lived in.
Oh, yeah, on the
lions.
Train ride.
Yeah, on the train ride over. And then there, sometimes they were even operating on injured animals or, like, bandaging them up or...
Right, yeah, with in front of a glass so everybody can see. I remember we were there one time, and there was this older lady standing there, all excited, kind of watching. And I was like, wow, this lady's like really messed up. Like she's enjoying watching this surgery happen. And she actually started talking to the people around her, and her daughter, it was like her first day working in there and working as like a surgeon on an animal. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it goes with the theme that it was a cool place that where you got to see like the different side of Animal Kingdom, because you actually see what it takes to run a zoo. It's what it is. It's a zoo.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of times we don't realize how much work it does. You know, if you go to the Maryland Zoo, San Diego Zoo, I don't know, just zoos
in general.
You're not going to see how they take care of an animal. If an animal gets sick, injured, you're not going to see what they do to take care of that. But at this station, you could see it all. It was all placed in front of a glass so you could see, and it's a different experience.
Yeah. I wonder if, since it's, I guess, closed, do they still, like, use the facilities? I mean, I would imagine so. Like, if that's their only, is it attached to a bigger hospital? I guess that's what you don't see is really actually how big it is.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they're doing like real surgery, but they're probably not doing major surgery. You know, like they're probably just like,
at least not up front.
Right. Yeah. Just like putting like a bandage on or giving a squirrel a shot. I don't know why that's the first animal to come to mind.
Out of all the animals in Animal Kingdom, a squirrel that they probably have hundreds of, they're giving a squirrel like a flu shot.
Disney squirrels are different than normal squirrels. That is a fact that is known by everybody.
Okay.
But right, you don't see, like, I'm sure that's what they show, and you don't see them, if they have to, like, remove small intestines from an elephant. I don't know if they have small intestines, but if they have to do something like that, like, I'm sure they do it in a different area, in a more secure area.
Yeah, that's a very educational point. Animal talk, squirrels. I can't get over the squirrels. Okay, if you'd like a T-shirt to be made of squirrels, some type of Disney squirrel.
I'm a squirrel pet expert.
Okay, let us know.
So, I mean, is that all that you wanted to say?
Yeah,
about
I got
that?
nothing else for the conservation station.
So that was all of the major closes that we wanted to talk about. There is one extra that we kind of want to mention, but it's not closed. It's not officially closed, but it should be. So I think that's why we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that is Stitch's Great Escape. We're going to say it closed around fall 2016, just as a general date. It opened November 16th, 2004, replacing Alien Encounter.
Which was very scary.
Well, I mean, when you were 12 and crying, and I'm 9 and laughing at you.
To this day, I don't think I would still get on that ride if it was still there.
You don't like Stitch's Great Escape to begin with.
No, I don't. I don't like things that, creep over me or sound or, fly underneath me. You're like...
Dark rooms now.
I don't care for any of it.
Anyway, so Stitch is discovered by the Galactic Federation when he's causing trouble in space. This interaction includes 2 pre-shows that are very similar to Alien Encounter. The first one being just like a general room with TV screens explaining kind of like what the ride is and why you signed up for the Galactic Federation. And then the second part goes into like a robot who explains how they teleport, the Stitch and monsters from Alien Encounter, how they teleport them back and forth. And then you go into the main attraction, which is a circular theater with the lights basically out, and it uses water, smell, and sound to create havoc as Stitch tries to escape. So in fall 2016, it went into seasonal operation, meaning it operates during just the busy times. Then, on October 8th, 2017, it became a meet and greet with Stitch. So, the ride is basically closed because they're only using the front part with the TV screens as the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And nothing's happening in the main theaters. Recently, they have like the fencing on the outside that kind of dictates and how many people can be on the attraction, kind of holds that. It's like a pre-show. And they recently removed that fencing, and then that had a turnstile in it. So now all of that's gone, and that's used just for stroller parking now. So there's no official word that it's closed, but there's no official open that it's going to open again. So
I've even seen pictures of some of the animatronics inside being dismantled and taken away.
Have you seen Stitch, the animatronic, without his skin?
No,
that's creepy. It's a creepy photo.
I think it's definitely on its way out. I think they just need to say it's closed. It's not coming back. If you want to give Stitch his own meet and greet, let's do it. But maybe not there while you keep it there, and let's
change the entrance or something.
Yeah, have an official close, and then let's do something with that space.
Well, it's rumored. It's just rumored. I mean, even Stitch closing is, in quotes, just the rumor. But what's going to replace there is a Wreck-It Ralph ride. Some sort of ride.
Some sort of experience.
Yeah, I guess where they teleport a game out, or teleport a game in, or just completely redo the ride in all.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they put there. I mean,
whether they keep it a show.
It would be nice to kind of have that circular theater still, because that is original to Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that experience.
Yeah, I mean, because they had, what was the first thing? Mission to Mars, where you were like on a rocket ship and got blasted to Mars. And then before that, it was Mission to the Moon. So, it's an old theater, space, I should say, not theater, because I'm sure the theater's changed, but it's an old space that has so much history, and I would really hate for them to lose that history.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't really speak to it all that well. I've never been on Alien Encounter, nor would I. I will make that statement. I would never get on it. And then I've never been on. Well, actually, I think I did once.
Yeah, I think I made you. I think I made you get on that.
You dragged me on, and again, I would never do that again. I don't like it. I don't. It's not family friendly. Even though Stitch to me is family friendly. With Ohana being family, and he wasn't at first, which I totally get, but he was at the end, and that's what feeling you're left with that movie.
Right, not the creepy, crazy Stitch.
Yeah.
Right, I understand that. Even when Alien Encounter opened, it was kind of destined to fail, because, oh my gosh, Bob Iger, I think? Yeah. He wanted to appeal to the teenagers, so he was like, let's have a scary attraction, because at the time, Universal was having Halloween Horror Nights just during Halloween. So he was like, let's have a scary attraction that teens will always come for. So then they came up with this ride, and then everybody was like, wait, hold on. This ride's a little too scary, and it doesn't have the Disney feel.
You're in Magic Kingdom. You're in a family.
Right. So, they put
park.
Stitch in to have that family park feel and make it more comedic. But even then, it's still not comedic. It's still dark with loud noises and the chili breath smell. And you feel them tickling your hair with air. Yeah. So it's still not family friendly. It's still very frightening to little kids and Ryan.
And me. Yeah, no. I would almost at the end, like, I survived Stitch's Great Escape shirt. I would probably get that if I wrote it once.
Right. So, that's kind of all we have for the 2018 closings. If you want to check back next week, we're going to have a part 2 episode where we talk about what's opening in 2019.
Yeah, that'll definitely be exciting. Some of it is replacing or, like re-announced. Like we talked about the Move It, Shake It, Mouse Could Dance It, like that's replacing the Magic Kingdom one.
The Disney Junior Dance Party.
Yeah. So those are all new coming out for 2019. We kind of hit, all of the ones at least that we thought were the bigger closures for 2018. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Did you have anything else?
No, yeah.
Anything for closures?
No? If anybody kind of wants to talk about any closures, I would say comment on Facebook.
Keep the conversation going.
Absolutely,
as one would say. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.